You know, just... It's the same like ETS2 doesn't get damaged models because the manufacturers doesn't want to see it. Yes, the truck and trailers, you get fictitious damage when you have an impact and stuff, but...
Yeah, but the thing is, ETS also used to do it, they've actually changed it now, but it used to have a really bad thing where it couldn't differentiate between wear and damage, could it?
No.
Now, since they've added that star rating, I actually think they've almost gone slightly backwards with that.
The what?
Well, they've added now because the trucks now have that star rating system, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I had a Volvo FH16 I bought brand new. After about 40,000 miles, I had a permanent message on the dash, on the thing saying, this vehicle is getting old, you should consider replacing it. I'm like, it was only me that driven it.
How many miles? 40,000 miles?
Done 40,000 miles.
Fucking hell, that's young, isn't it, for a truck?
This is my point. And you couldn't repair it beyond about 3 stars. Which means AI wouldn't drive it because they class it as too old and damaged. It's like, I get where they're going. I get in the games, often damaged models and things are sped up. It's like in this game, a tractor is pretty much considered past its best at 40 hours.
Well, this tractor's past its best.
Well, yeah. But the thing is, number one, I'm not that bothered about it, and there's mods that can help you sort of... Well, that's because your average player in game isn't going to put 10,000 hours on a tractor.
No, I'm saying this tractor I'm driving is past 40 hours.
Yeah, in FS logic, that tractor should be got rid of. The repair costs on it, if you were bothered, will be extreme.
It probably will be when I service it, yeah.
But like I say, I don't know. Single player, on single player, I have mods that just slightly reduce the repair cost to bring it a little bit more. Because I like keeping tractors into longer hours than that. It's just how I like to.
Yeah, I know, but it's just. I just feel like the Giants with the new game need to step up.
They're in danger of going down the same thing that we complain at F1 for so much.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
And for the shock value, well, not for the shock value, but for anybody that's wondering why you haven't seen F1 appear on the channel yet with the new game out, is the consensus between me and the guys was we weren't prepared to pay.
We weren't prepared to pay full game price for what was essentially the same game we bought last year with a few drivers moved around. Saying that, by the time this is out, we have all said if we get a decent sale price, we probably will still pick it up.
Yeah.
I still stand by that.
Oh, I will, but
I'm not paying 60, 70 quid for that.
Yeah.
You know, and I welcome other people's opinions. Some of you think I'm wrong, and I welcome that. But this is where it goes back to what I've said before. What should be happening is, yeah, offer the full game every year, but for people who bought the previous years, offer them an upgrade at a discount.
Yeah.
Here, for 15 quid, it'll add the 2025 teams and drivers to the 24 game. You know, because there hasn't been any major circuit changes really this year, has there? There will be next year because they'll be adding that street circuit in Spain.
If it gets FIA approval.
Yeah.
It's still under FIA. What do you call it? It's got to be accredited or whatever the fuck it is.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it was the other year, wasn't it, where not a single driver moved seats, not a single new team was added.
No.
And yet still we're paying full game price for...
Yeah.
And it's just like...
And it was just, there was just, like I said, it was just a case of, well...
At the moment, I just don't want to justify 60, 70 quid on that. Simple as that.
Well, it wasn't. No, it wasn't that. I mean, well, yeah, there was that, but it was just that I made the decision of myself personally was no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. I suppose the same. Like I say, I'm.
Because
Have they added in?
what?
Has there always been that little grey 4x4 in traffic on this map, and I've just never noticed it?
Yeah.
Okay, it's the second time I've seen it, and I can't recall ever noticing it before. I know there's like the red van, but I've never noticed. It's like a little Suzuki Jimny.
Yeah, it's always been there.
That's okay. I'm just blind then.
But you know, it's like The Sims.
No, I just but I think the Sims business model works brilliantly.
Yeah, but the problem is the difference between The Sims and F1, for example, is The Sims is all
Also-
one world, but you have the additional stuff.
Oh, and also I'm pretty sure now, is the Sims 4 not free to play base game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just, if you want,
you buy expansion packs.
if you just want the expansion packs, you got to pay for the fucking nose.
To me that is because at least with that, number one, you can sort of tailor what you want. If there's packs you don't want, you just don't buy them. So I actually think that is a great example of how games could be made.
I mean, I'm kind
Because
of.
what I've done, Go on, sorry.
I'm guilty because The Sims 3, I bought every DLC and every expansion pack. But I was big into The Sims.
I think I've got most for 4.
See, now I don't. I've not played 4. I was gonna, but then.
I died mess around with it from time to time. No serious, it's a good thrown in the background sort of title for me.
Now, it's. I just don't know how if they would. I don't know how EA would do that business model with F1. They wouldn't be able to do the free-to-play aspect of it because.
No, you won't get that. No, I grant. But what I would say is, let's say no, say 4. All right, every year release a full-price game at full price. Go for that. So anybody brand new into the series. But for those of us who already have it, offer the next year's at 50-60% less as a download.
Yeah.
Obviously making sure you can still play the previous year's sort of things if you want. There'd be a way to toggle it, which I'm sure they could come up with.
What was all that?
More sawmill stuff.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm just hauling between the sawmill.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But, yeah, basically the way my logic would work is once you owned an F1 game, you're in that ecosystem.
Yeah.
And like I say, every year a full price game is 60 quid, or for let's put them on the greedy side. Let's say 20. So you own F1 24 right now.
Yep.
So EA turn around and go, right, if you want to buy F1 25, it's 60 quid, 70, whatever a full price game is now. Now those that already own 24, for 20 quid, you can get the 2025 upgrades to your game.
What about all the story mod though?
Now that you would have to work out that on a basis. Now that wasn't something I took into account when I first sort of came with these ideas.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
you could do it. Okay, all that this year because that's in 30 quid. So half the price of buying the full game. And they could, in theory, keep that going up until some truly major change happened that meant it couldn't work on the old engine anymore. And there would come a point where that would be the case. I fully accept that.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure you could get at least 5 or 6 years where you could just upgrade your game every year. EA would still make money.
Oh, yeah.
But I think fans would be a lot happier.
Well, yeah. Because that's probably what's pissing a lot of the fans off, though, is...
It's just... Yeah, it's just...
Is the fact that each year we're having to pay...
AAA price, which, yeah, the AAA title, I fully get that. It's a licensed title, so there's all that to consider.
Yeah.
But it's not like the
Sims.
Yeah, but The Sims doesn't have Liberty Media also wanting a slice of the pie. Don't forget, part of EA's thing with having the official game is Liberty Media will be taking a good
Well, as long as...
chunk of it.
And that's the thing, as long as there's enough money there for the devs. Can't fucking leave the devs out of this.
No, of course you can.
Because hence why, you know, EA have lost WRC. Well, they've not lost, they've stopped the WRC stuff.
The thing is, WRC doesn't have the worldwide following.
No, I know.
F1 in particular, over the last few years with Drive to Survive and now the film
I wouldn't say.
and everything else.
To be honest, I'm going to be quite harsh. I know I've not seen the film yet.
No, but what I'm saying is he's putting the F1 name out there in front of people.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is, I don't really think, I don't think that film's going to make a shit difference.
I think it'll bring more eyes to the sport. I think because there'll be a few people who either A, will just go and see it because it's Brad Pitt, who maybe aren't F1 fans, but like Brad Pitt. Like, the thing is, I honestly rate that film the same way as Drive to Survive, in that it's not for F1 fans.
No, I mean it's
to try and bring more eyes.
I mean it's got Crofty in it. It's got Crofty and Martin, and I know that.
Crofty and Martin are in it. Yeah, Crofty and Martin have a piece in it. I say there's a proper, and it's actually done. I don't actually mind the way it's done because there is a lot of full F1 names, not just drivers in terms of like background stuff you'd recognise. But it's not sort of overly. They just sort of walk past in the background. It's not made a big deal about it.
No.
A few of them get the odd speaking line.
Well, Crofty only got the.
Well, Crofty because his iconic lines used.
But Crofty only. Yeah, but I'm saying Crofty only got the part because of Hamilton. Hamilton wanted Crofty as the voice for commentating. Crofty and Martin, Hamilton wanted them. There was no...
Because to the majority of the world, I would say, they are the voice of F1. I realise F1 is in other languages, but certainly for the British-speaking world.
Well, you know, okay, we've had the likes of Harry Benjamin, but Crofty will be back for Silverstone, I can guarantee fucking to you.
Yeah. But there's like little bits, like there's at one point near the end where they're just walking and Dominicali shakes his hand. Now, obviously, that's some of the only... you have to be a pretty big F1 fan to actually even recognise Stefano Domenicali. Because he's not exactly plastered over the front of the posters.
No. But he...
You know, Toto gets a couple of lines, but Toto's listed as a producer, so...
Toto recorded lines for it.
Yeah, no, he has a proper part in it, but he's listed as a producer, as is Hamilton.
Of course, because it was Hamilton's filming company.
I know it was.
That's why Toto was involved in it, as well.
It's also quite nice because all the way through, because of when he says also it's Perez. Just keep seeing Perez in the background.
Well, yeah, because it was...
Because he was set as last year, because he set as last year's championship.
Yeah. God, can you imagine if they did on it during 2021?
A part of me wondered going into it if Lewis was going to use it as a chance to like reset the balance for 21. Obviously, because Abu Dhabi features quite heavily in the film as the season finale, which it is. I'm not giving you any spoilers there. I'm not doing anything you don't already know.
Well, yeah.
that Abu Dhabi is the finale of the championship.
Hmm. Well,
Well,
that's how it is in real life. So.
well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it's not a. I'm not giving away any big industry.
No. Alright, well,
But
that
yeah,
sounds
it's like,
feel ripped, but I'm gonna have to nip to the shop because.
I'm glad he said shop then. I thought shitter was coming the way he started that sentence.
No.
Shitter's fault.
I'm gonna have to nip to the shop because.
You need a service.
Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of power
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing my last load of stuff from the sawmill.
I mean, that price tag's looking healthy at the minute.
The budget. Trust me, I'm sure I can soon spend it on
At the
something. Though.
minute.
I'm sure I can soon find someone to spend it on. So what I'll do is, the vegetable planter's nearly finished doing the carrots. I'll move him on to. I might put like parsnips on 12 or something.
Yeah. Is there anything that actually needed rolling?
No, because the crops I've done the last couple, none of them actually need rolling.
Anything need fertilizer?
Yes, if you look at the map, there's quite a few fields I think will need that.
Well, let me go and give. I think he's just
Go and
finished.
give. Yeah, I can see that. I'll deal with that once I've done what I'm doing here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go and give this equipment a service. Not a repaint, but a service.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Okay, well, it's 85. I'm just gonna give the flour a repair.
Yeah.
Okay. About 28 grand.
Actually, it's going to be more than that way, the way you reacted.
Yeah, about 28 grand to service the John Deere. Because the problem is, that's the thing, the service bar counts as both if you've got something attached.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to know what's in need of service unless you run them both down entirely. You know what I mean? So...
Well, you've just spent 28 grand. I've just put that back in.
Jesus.
That was those prefab walls. You don't actually use them for a lot, but they sell for really good money. So it's like, I have the sawmill doing them just because you'd be silly not to when they sell for such good values.
Yeah.
I do the same on Riverbend. I have it just producing them just to sell them. Because you time the right time of year, they're like 18 grand each.
Christ, she's thirsty. Hell. Grand in fuel bill.
Christ. Make sure you got the reward card on that one, mate.
Yeah.
I think a lot of filling stations in the UK, you wouldn't actually be able to put that much fuel in. I think the pump would cut off before you got there.
Well, yeah, because you're only allowed.
It used to be 100 quid, but they've had to change that because fuel price went up that much. Some people's 4x4s were freaking hitting the limits. I mean, what was my record? The record I've ever put in a van was like 140 quid.
Problem was though, when I used to fill up a lot of the coaches, we were putting a lot of money.
Oh, think of them as with long range tanks in an Arctic. It's like 1,500 litre bloody tanks. It's rare now that I do a fill up in a works van that's less than 100 quid. But then again, I tend to let them run quite down before I fill them.
All right, so yeah, you're only allowed. No, that's not helpful. So on paying by that's really not helping me. I didn't ask you that question. I asked you.
I don't know what he's on about either, folks. You're alright. You're still there? You got very
No,
quiet.
I'm here. Well, yeah, that's it's a fucking jerry can. I didn't want to know that. I just wanted to know the amount you can, like...
Dispense.
Yeah. But I believe on some, like...
Like I said, I know when, for example,
I think
when
Tesco, I think it's like 100 quid.
When it'll be more than that now. It used to be 100 quid on the supermarket. It might be 100 litres
Yeah, possibly.
now. Because the trouble is, like I said to you, it used to be 100 quid, and Asda's the one I knew of, 'cause I used to use these self-serves on there from time to time. And the trouble was, it got to the point where 100 quid wouldn't fill some vehicles.
No.
I say, if you've got a big 4x4, they can have a 70, 75 litre tank in them.
Mm.
So I say they used to be 100 litres. There's
8 needs rolling.
I know it does, I just realised that myself. It's up to you, you can do that or you can fertilise. The choice is yours, my friend.
I'll give it 8 a quick roll, and then I'll...
Because at least we've got that massive roller, haven't we? So it's not...
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to start harvesting the 6 and 7 mega field. We've got parsnips being planted on field 12.
But... Yeah, well, I mainly used to use... when I was at garages with the coaches, I used to use truck pumps.
I try and use them in the van whenever they'll let you, because they're great. Because your flash fill have added about 40 seconds.
Mm. Yeah, but sometimes they get funny about it, don't they?
I just usually play dumb. Well, I was on a fuel card, so I thought you had to use commercial. Most of them have sound, actually. I think it's only if you manage to go and spill it all over the forecourt trying to do it, then yeah, they'll be mad at you.
Hmm.
If you're actually semi-sensible to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Then it'll be fine.
Well, you're just careful.
Because with some of the vans, depending on how they go, you can actually go full bore with a wagon pump.
No, you can't, because it clicks back.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, some of the bigger coaches we used to put in. We were putting, depending on where we were. Yeah, believe it or not. I mean, one coach I filled up. Jeez. It was well over 100. It was well over 400 quid's worth of fuel.
Must have a particularly long range tanks, and he probably wasn't designed for doing European work or something.
Yeah, it was.
We'll have bigger fuel tanks in.
Yeah, there was well over 400 quid's worth of fuel in it.
Jesus.
It was only being ran locally at that point. Because season...
Yeah,
but
it
season,
depends, because...
Yeah, but season hadn't kicked off.
It also depends, cause especially if you're buying second hand, you obviously buy... I remember the company I worked for before this one, you could spec 4 transits with a 104 litre, what they called a long distance fuel tank.
Mm.
we had one. I've only ever seen one. It was obviously a really rare option, but we ended up with one of them. We didn't know till first time we went to fill it up somewhere. And it's like, where's he putting all this fucking stuff? You know when you're standing back and checking your feet aren't getting wet?
Mm.
So it's like, you should have stopped by now.
Yeah.
And when we checked it out, we looked at it, yeah, it had these, say, 104 litre long-range fuel tanks.
Jesus.
You know what you had to watch, because it added that much weight.
Mm.
You seriously ran the risk of overloading it.
Yeah.
Luckily, we were delivering bread, so weight wasn't that big an issue. You kind of explode a van before you overloaded it on that job.
Hmm. Okay, so the pricing's come into effect now. New pricing on mobility cars.
It's alright, you're a while off changing anyway, aren't you? So
20...
You said 28, didn't you say?
27.
27, yeah. So
what have they actually put on the... Oh, right, okay, so the latest ones that they've put with no advance payment, guess what they've put on?
go on, be electric stuff.
Yeah. The Dacia... Oh, Dacia Spring.
Sorry, Dacia. I still say Dacia.
I don't know if it's Dacia or Dacia. What the fuck's that
Dacia.
doing?
It's like Skoda now, so they are now Skoda, or whatever they say.
What's that doing here? Is that a contract
what
vehicle?
No, that's ours.
The truck and trailer?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
I bought it to do all these sawmill movement.
Oh, right, okay. It's just in me
Because
fucking way.
Because the amount of pallets were moving, I thought maybe having an Arctic and trailer could be useful.
And why did you buy a Mac?
Because I don't like the International and I just didn't fancy a Volvo.
I'm surprised you didn't go for a Volvo, to be honest.
Thing is, I always go for Volvos and stuff, so sometimes it's nice to go for something different.
Well, there's the electric Volvo on there.
It's like on Riverbend, I have that new International.
Don't know.
Those added with plains and prairies. But there's one thing with that truck that really annoys me.
What? Underpowered?
No, I've got the biggest engine in it, that's fine. It's got two little spotlights in the front bumper. They don't work.
Which you think it would?
Main beam or anything. This is a giant base game added machine.
Yeah.
I jokingly say, I don't mind saying this by the time this episode comes out, will be long past. I jokingly said in the episode I'm going to take it back to the dealer already because the freaking front lights aren't working. It's like got 0.4 hours on the clock and already the front lights have freaking died.
Yeah. So it's the Dacia Spring electric, the Vauxhall Frontera electric.
What?
The Vauxhall Frontera.
They've brought back the Frontera name?
Yeah.
What?
Seriously, the Vauxhall Frontera. The
What? No. Frantic Googling is going on right now. It just looks... Oh my god.
It looks shit though, doesn't it?
I
Yeah.
quite like the old Frontera.
Oh, the new
'Cause you're
Frontera.
actually-
New Frontera
The
doesn't
old
look
one,
nice.
The old Frontera I have a real soft spot for, because they were built by Isuzu, who were really good at building 4x4s. So they were actually a really good 4x... I actually saw one in Kendal a couple of weeks ago. First time in quite a while.
Used to see it. I always
They
used to
brought-
see them fucking knocking around.
Well, that's the thing. It's one of them cars you used to see a lot everywhere. They brought back the Frontera name.
Well, Ford have brought back the fucking Capri.
Well, they brought back the Puma, the Cougar, a load of them. They all look pretty shite.
They brought back, well, there's the Explorer as well. But it's electric, yeah, again. And then they've obviously the Yaris Icon, the Mazda CX-30, Citroen C3 Plus. But to be honest, that's... It's not.
I like how you've just driven over the ditch there to do that.
Yeah, it's not a great range for like no advance payment.
Well, that's because they're just.
There is probably more, but I'm sick of them plugging the electric bollocks.
Pun intended.
Not every fucker can have electric cars.
Pun intended.
Hmm.
Sick of them plugging the electrics.
Yeah.
Ba-dum.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
shall I go with you when you went to see Electric Six?
No.
Oh. Okay.
No, that was one I did on my own. Because trouble is, with her arthritis and that, the idea of standing for that period of time is difficult for her.
Join the club.
Well, yeah, I know.
But I would have gone, but it was too close to.
I'll be
Dunham.
honest, mate. It wasn't. I'm glad I went. It didn't cost me a lot, but it wasn't a great show. I had a better show the night before. I went to watch my boss's band playing in the pub, and that was a better show. The lead singer of Electric Six just seemed like he didn't want to be there.
The problem is, he sounded not so bad, but
It sounded just the way he stood there, just leaning on the microphone. There was no
showmanship in it.
no performance. If you get one, I know that sounds stupid, but it's like, yep, here we are. We're claiming a paycheck.
Yeah. Whereas,
To be fair, the support band were a group called, what was it called? Easy Listenings.
never heard
And it
of
was one bloke, one singer and one guitarist, and they were probably more enjoyable.
it. Yeah.
Oh, I'll send you a video. The night before, like I say, my bass band were playing, but then there was a band on after them, and I sent you a video with a caption of, holy fuck, I've been transported back to 1994. They were a local band, but like the lead singer had a full shell suit and baseball cap on.
Oh God.
He was obviously the act. That was the whole
Yeah.
shtick of them. One of the guitarists looked like an extra from Oasis. It was like, that was obviously their whole thing, but it was actually incredibly well done. I reckon it'd be a really funny gig. I'll send you a couple of the videos over when we finish.
Yeah. Did they do Gay Bar in the end or not?
Yeah, they did. Come on, they had to do that in High Voltage, didn't they? Because once they've done them two, I think they've done other songs, but...
I know you... Yeah, but you sent High Voltage.
Yeah.
And you noticed that Electric Six High Voltage got used on a McDonald's advert for the McSpicy or something like that.
It's alright. What surprised me a while ago, I realised how we're jumping topics around tonight, folks, but it's just, a while ago, was it Puma or Nike used Afro Months because I got high for an advert? I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Somebody doesn't know the meaning of that song.
No.
Because I can't imagine that song fits most companies' corporate image.
It
was one of the athletic wear companies.
Yeah. I was just like, what the fuck?
Although I suppose at least they use it. It's when companies use these like elevator music versions of songs that it does my nut in at times.
But it was just, yeah, no, just... David, don't you dare.
What?
Don't you... Look at the money. Don't you
I know.
dare try and get 66666. You know. You're putting an orbit on things. Yes, I know your number plate, but there we go. What? I poked the bear, didn't I? I said, don't do it.
I probably wouldn't. If you hadn't have said anything,
you wouldn't have noticed.
I don't think I'd have noticed.
I poked the bear.
And the bear won. I've now totally lost track of what I was saying because of that.
I love it. I've actually derailed him for once.
Yeah, you have. I've totally forgotten what the topic conversation was before that.
You're on about bloody Afroman's because I got high song,
Yeah.
and then
Music in adverts stuff, and then he's like, I say, how come they'll take a
I love
famous
it,
song, but they'll
music.
re-record on the fucking panpipes or something.
Hmm.
And he just does my head in at times. Especially when it's there's times when it's been such random songs.
Yeah. It's just like I don't know. It's just I just couldn't believe it was the fact that obviously I knew you were going to see Electric Six, and then it was like I think I was watching F1, and then I think it was one of the F1s, and it was like that's Electric Six doing the McSpicy advert, like advertising one of their like burgers, and it was like Electric Six high voltage. I was like, can't get away from it.
It was one of those. It was just. And like I said, I only went because I just got a really random Facebook ad that it was on locally, and that it was the real band, not a cover band or anything.
Yeah.
Because it kind of caught me off guard. Because I was like, really? It's like I've got another one since playing in Kendall in September. His Goldie looking chain.
No.
I don't know if you remember them or not.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tempted.
Can't remember what. There was one song.
Soap Bar was the one I know of that I think so went massive.
It's just like
The thing is, so far, the thing is with the likes of Electric Six, I can't see they're out there doing the cruise ships or anything like that these days.
no.
They're a band with a very niche market, hence why they're probably having to do gigs like the one I went to.
Yeah, but you know, you've got to give a bit of showmanship.
Yeah, he just didn't. Like I said, I don't regret going at all. I enjoyed it. It was a decent laugh, but yeah, it wasn't. Won't go down in history to me as one of the best gigs I've ever been to.
I say you've got to give it. I accidentally brought the fucking reshared key up.
Yeah,
But at least I know what key that is.
I've done stuff like that before. I know.
See, they've got a Yaris there for 0 advance payment, but I don't want a fucking Yaris.
Unless it's a GR4,
Oh yeah, if it was the GR4, then yeah, maybe.
you won't get that as 0 advance payment.
No. Oh my god, they put a Puma on advance payment. Puma looks ugly as fuck.
They do, don't they?
Fords aren't as good as they used to be. Fords used to be indestructible bastards.
I know, tell me, this is the way it is, isn't it? I seriously have this dilemma. If I had to replace him on Mondeo now, I am not fully sure what I'd go for. You know what I mean?
No, because they're plugging that much electric shit.
No, but not even that, because I wouldn't buy brand new.
No.
And the trouble is, I kind of hit a weird spot. 'Cause I've said before, my Mondeo falls into a couple of weird brackets when it comes to tax.
At the moment, yeah.
They never seem to mess with that. They've never messed with it yet.
No.
But I wouldn't buy a newer Mondeo because I'd just end up with the same car but paying 200 quid a year
So
to tax it.
what needs fertilising? 8...
Wait a second.
Oh my god, 81236.
Yeah.
Well, 8 hasn't been planted on yet, has it?
Yes, it has. Got wee on it. You rolled 8, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. Shush.
No, it hasn't been. You just went and rolled an empty field, you muppet.
Shush. Stop picking on me.
Why? It's fun.
I mean, there's a Dacia jogger there, but I really don't. Not. I've seen and sat in. I've been in one, because her auntie's got one.
Hmm.
I just don't. Honestly, I could not see my private plate on that car.
To me, Dacias are built for one thing: they're cheap, aren't they? The whole thing of Dacia is, because I mean that Dacia Spring it's about 14 grand brand new, isn't it?
Well, this was the jogger. But...
No, but I'm saying, just for the example, that Spring.
I mean, there's a little Suzuki Swift. Fuck that.
Oh, don't my dad, before we bought the cash car, he looked at the Ignis, and I'm so glad he never went for it.
There's a Duke.
Oh!
Guess not.
They don't call it a joke for nothing. And then like that, and I'm in a weird bracket. I would defend the cash car. I know the cash car gets a lot of shit. My dad's got one, and you know what? It's spot on for what it does.
Yeah.
I've actually driven a Duke because one of my boss's relatives, he was outside our work, and they asked me to take it back down to his house.
You were impressed.
It felt so tiny inside it.
Yeah, I mean, there's...
Considering it's... now, bear in mind, I'm probably doing a direct comparison to my dad's cash car. Now, because my dad's cash car, he's got, like, panoramic roof and all that. And it's little things like... This Duke had black interior trim and a black headlining.
Yeah.
And all that dark in what wasn't the biggest car. It felt like you were sat in a coffin.
See, and the thing is, Alan said, obviously he...
I still can't believe that I always thought the Bayonne was a tiny little hatchback. I was classed as a SUV.
Mini SUV. Well, mine's...
Whenever I've seen them on the road, they look more like a standard hatchback.
I know they do.
Because yours will be bigger than his.
Mine's bigger, probably bigger than his.
You've got the 2008, don't you? Not the 3008.
I got the 2008.
Almost, I mean, most of my knowledge is on the 3008 because a mate of mine had one.
But he turned around...
But yours will be bigger than his.
Yeah.
I've no doubt about it.
But he turned around and said he didn't find that car comfy, right? Now, I don't understand where he's coming that assumption from.
No, I can't figure that one
I'm
out.
not gonna lie, because I have done well, okay, Manchester is not exactly a long trip, but it's long. It's for me, it's long enough.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a long enough trip.
It's more than your average little city, John. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Blackpool. You know what I mean? I've got Blackpool recently in it. It's like the other day when I went to Blackpool with my mum and my sister. Well, Fleetwood, whatever, but I drove her car because I can drive her car anyway. Still, because I'm still on insurance. Her insurance for it, just in case.
Yeah, I'm still on my dad's actually.
Yeah, just for any reason.
Although to be fair now, you got those companies like Vago and that. It's actually quite easy to.
Yeah, I know, but with hers being on, technically hers being a higher, well, loan. What I don't fucking know what it's called.
Because like I'm on the insurance for Shell's car. She's actually not for mine because the only time she'd ever drive mine is if there's an absolute emergency. And that's not my decision, by the way. That's because she doesn't want to drive a manual.
I don't know. Driving instructors. The thing is, it's like driving instructors and teaching people how to drive an automatic.
No, don't forget she learned in a manual.
Well, why doesn't she want to drive a manual then?
She doesn't like when she prefers autos. But I did make sure at the time she got a full manual license.
Yeah. Well, mine's not automatic, but considering I have arthritis in my feet.
Yeah.
And my hands, so not as bad in my hands, but it's more my feet. So a manual, for me, like when I drove my sister's, coming.
It's hard work. It's painful, yeah.
It can be painful. So, you know, I get. So it does. It can. You know, it can hurt. So.
Oh, yeah.
The automatic is quite nice, and people say,
Yes,
"Well, aren't you? You know, are you lazy because of that?" No, I'm not lazy. I still can get into a manual car like my sister's, and I can still perfectly drive it perfectly fine. I've not forgotten how to drive. Just automatic is, it's a lot easier on my legs.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier on my feet.
I'll say that MG of hers is classed as an auto, but I'm guessing technically it doesn't actually have a gearbox at all.
What, the electric?
Yeah.
Yes, they do. They do,
Yeah,
but
you know, in a lot of ways, if it has, to me, the way it behaves, it's more like a CVT.
Is it semi-auto or a full auto?
No, it's full auto.
Yeah, it'll have a gearbox, but whereas
I'd say, I wonder if it's got a little CVT in it.
Well, mine.
You know what I mean by CVT, don't you?
Yeah.
They use them a lot in tractors.
Yes.
But does it behave like? Because you never hear it like shifting. It doesn't shift gear once it's moving. So it's like it's just got one long gear that just covers.
But they will have it.
Oh, it has to have the ability to go between forwards and reverse. I get that.
Yeah.
But I wonder with the electric whether it can just spin the motor the other way or something.
Kind of unsure.
I'm not. Like I say, obviously, I'm not an expert. I was still amazed when we opened the bonnet and there was a wet battery sat there looking at us.